Hi, and today I wanted to talk about self-worth and why we often feel we don't deserve happiness, or we're not good enough, or we don't deserve to be loved. And one of the key reasons for this is that from the ages of when we're born to the age of about 7, we function in theta waves, which is also what we go into if we're in a deep state of meditation. And when we're in theta waves as young children, often whatever we are experiencing through people and interactions and hearing things goes into us in a subconscious way, as if we're hypnotized, and we take on information about how to be, how to act, how we are around with the world around us through a subconscious level, like we've almost been hypnotized. And this can then carry on. So that stops around the age of 7, but what we learn during those 7 years can then carry on into adulthood, and we end up having these notions of that we're not good enough, and these narratives within us that we can't succeed and we're not good and we're not worthy of love, or we have to be a certain way to be loved. And a lot of that stems back to when we're children, and often love is placed on us conditionally. So, for example, at school, and you're told you'll be a good girl or a good boy if you do this task. And you do the task and you're told you're a good girl or a good boy, or good child. And often this carries on, and we get occasions where love is conditional. And if we do this certain task, if we act in this certain way, then we'll be good, then we'll be loved. And love becomes conditional, and it carries on into adulthood then, these manifestations of we have picked up subconsciously when we are young. I have to act in a certain way. I have to complete all these tasks perfectly to be loved. I have to do everything really, really well, and I have to succeed at this in order to be loved. Or I need to act in this certain particular way in order to be loved. Or even if people see the real me, they won't love me. They will only love the version I have to present myself. And often we're really not aware of these things. They're working on a sort of subconscious level, but occasionally we'll get those negative mental narratives coming into our heads of that I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not worthy of this, I can't succeed, I can't be happy. Who am I to deserve to be happy? And this also comes back to childhood, and often with negative things, as well as love being seen as conditional, and that we have to act or be a certain way in order to have praise and be good and be loved. It can also work the opposite way with when we're children, the actions have not been separated from the child. So if a child has done something wrong, or knocked over a lot of books, or done something that they're not supposed to do, instead of separating out the child from the action and saying that was a bad thing to do, or that was a naughty thing to do, instead saying you're a naughty child, you're a bad child. And what that does is subconsciously, when we're young, feed into this narrative of I'm a bad person, I'm a naughty person, I don't deserve to be happy because I do these bad things. And it's subtle, and often we don't realize that we have these narratives going on, but they become ingrained within us from this young age when we pick things up on a subconscious level, and then continue to play out into adulthood, so that we can feel like our self-worth is very, very low because we've had these experiences. And they could be within the family environment, or school and nursery, or just when you're out and about, if you're with your parents in a cafe and someone says, oh, aren't they a good child because they've done this thing? And it's lots of subtle things that have been picked up as we are growing up that then have carried through into adulthood, and means that we can often equate self-worth with us having to be a certain way in order to be loved, and that we have to do certain things, or that we're not worthy of love because we do these things and act in a certain way. And all of this stops us being happy and being truly who we are, because we feel we have to be a certain way, or that we're not deserving of love and happiness. And so we end up suffering and feeling miserable and sad, and not feeling like that we can fully express ourselves. And so being able to break those subconscious chains of thought is a difficult task and won't sort of go away the moment you've watched this video and think, oh, that makes sense. It's a gradual process, but it starts with recognizing that when you're having a thought, and when we're having a thought of, oh, I can't do this, I'm not going to apply for that, I'm not good enough, or why should I deserve to be happy by taking this job or going out and doing these things, or feeling like you can't act a certain way because people won't like you. And recognizing that that's just happening, and that's where awareness comes in when we're doing mindfulness meditation, of being able to be aware of that thought coming into our heads. And it's almost subconscious, maybe because it comes into our heads so often, or is at the background of thoughts. But being aware of it, bringing our awareness to what is that thought, can help us to then break the attachment to it, because we're aware, we're watching it, we're not our thoughts, they're not containing us. And then practicing self-love and doing I'll put some links to some guided meditations and some books about cultivating self-love and self-worth, and recognizing that we are worthy of unconditional love, not passing judgment over ourselves, not judging ourselves, believing that we have to be a certain way and we're not good enough if we've not done this task, or we're not acting in this particular way, so we don't deserve to be loved, we don't deserve to be happy. Breaking those narratives and letting go of that judgment, and then bringing in new narratives of I am worthy of love, I am worthy of happiness, I deserve to be loved, I am loved unconditionally, I love myself unconditionally. And it's what I've said before about when we bring in new phrases and new narratives, it can sound false, but the more that we begin to say these narratives, the more we begin to get in tune with it, the more we can break the cycle of believing that we're unworthy and that we have low self-worth, and we can begin to build up a strong, powerful sense of love for ourselves, and then we can also then give that to others. And it begins with affirmations of that I am worthy of love, I am worthy of being happy, and I deserve to be happy, I deserve to be loved, and I have unconditional love for myself. Love is not conditional. And working through these and going through these affirmations and being aware of our thoughts can help us to develop our self-worth and realize that we are worthy of love, and that we all are immensely worthy of happiness and love, and are unconditionally loved and lovable, and hopefully breaking those patterns and narratives that are keeping us from feeling we can be truly who we are and be ourselves. And so I hope you found that useful. I'll put a link below to some great books around this area, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all really soon.